Assalamualaikum to Madam Fazia binti Abdullah. So today we will present about the recommendation report on choosing SSD for improving computer performance. So firstly, I'll introduce the name of our team members. My name is Muhammad Rafiq Miasni, and the second presenter will be Muhammad Hafizul Hisham bin Muhammad Zain. The third presenter will be Muhammad Nazri bin Roslan, and the fourth presenter will be Muhammad Rizal bin Zazi, and the last presenter will be Muhammad Nazif bin Abu Bakar. So I will present about introduction. So digital memory has been revolutionized over the past 10 years, and a new technology, flash memory, has arisen in addition to the existing hard disk drive, and is increasing market shares for hard disk drive. Instead of reliable and the high probability of future information retrieval, we can no longer know how and how much the data can be retrieved. In 2003, SATA technology was introduced, replacing the older PATA or parallel ATA as the standard computer storage connection interface. SATA is currently the incumbent market and is mostly used to connect SSD to the computer system. SATA uses the AHCI command protocol and supports the IDE, which was built primarily for older and sluggish disk spinning drives and not for robust flash-based storage. Even for this day, when we consider the storage space, hard drives have a clear advantage over the SSD as they cost less per gigabyte and hold data for longer. For NVMe, it is the latest industry standard software interface for PCIe SSDs. It's the past technology portrayal. The memory component SSD is used to communicate with the computer and not exactly as a new type of memory. It comes in two form factors, which is one is M.2 or PCIe expansion card, a 2.5-inch U.2 connector, which were developed for shabby hard disk drive and used until now even when replaced with SSD due to rapidly evolving memory technology. For using an NVMe, we can see a clear difference in performance with a read and write throughput far higher than the hard drive and slower SATA SSD lagging a bit behind as well. So next will be the problem statement from Hafizul Hisham.
Okay, I'm the second presenter. Today, I'm going to talk about the performance of computers. For some users, they consider the performance of their computer, and some users may not even care of the performance. Okay, for people who do multitasking work on their computer, they truly want a good performance for their computer without causing any problem while doing their work. Example of multitasking work such as using Microsoft Word, Google Search, listening to music, YouTube, and doing some PowerPoint at the same time. At this time, the computer hard drive will function at maximum power. This among the problem that users face when their computers are not performing well or the computer are slow. This problem is solved by the computer hard drive. For the first problem, the computer will be lagging and not running smoothly. Second is the computer will stuck or freeze. The third, computer will force close all the programs. And the last one is the computer will be forced to start. Don't worry, all these problems can be solved if the user becomes aware of the computer. I will provide the opportunity of the next presenter to tell us more about this topic. That's all for me.
Okay, I will explain about the solution of this problem. For the first, there are several solutions to solve the problem. The first is price of the price of component. This is important because the price component is must be affordable and to not expensive. Next, the speed of component. This is important because the main problem is the slow of processor computer. For the next, the durability is important to solve this problem. So the component must be long-term and durable. And last, the power efficiency of this component. Power efficiency is important to ensure that when a computer accidentally delete all file and information, the file is in a good condition. Okay, that's all for me.
For the discussion, the criteria that have been established for recommended changing components in order to improve the performance of the laptop or personal computer PC was include cost, speed, performance, durability, capacity of the storage, and also in terms of energy efficiency. Firstly is cost. The price of NVMe is more expensive compared to SATA SSD, but this price keeps decreasing years after years, which made it popular among of IT observer. As IT buyers know, moving up to enterprise class SSD is another playing field, and price can be all over the map. Their true cost is obscure by the fact that they include as part of a system configuration. Secondly is speed performance. The speed of the NVMe is way more fast compared to the SSD. This is because NVMe is not affected by the ATA interface constructions as it sits right on the top of the PCI Express directly connected to the CPU. NVMe can deliver sustained read-write speed of 2000 MB per second, way faster than the SATA SSD3, which the limits at 600 MB per second. Here, the bottleneck is non-technology, which is rapidly advancing, which means we will likely see higher speeds soon with NVMe. Thirdly is durability. The durability for the NVMe informed for lifespan is NVMe have a higher lifespan compared to the SATA SSD. Basically, the lifespan of NVMe or SATA SSD depends on how the user manage their laptop. Not every hard drive tools can automatically handle SSD. There are some tools, especially of SSD, which definitely take care of your storage. Operating system service the ones you know from conventional hard drive, like for example the fragmentations are not suitable for SSDs. The fragmentation even proves to be harmful for an SSD because of its unnecessary write and delete process. And fourth is capacity storage. NVMe or no SM2 has more criteria and advantage than a SATA solid state drive is SSD. NVMe are huge leap in technology as solid state drive and hard drives for that matter were always connected via cables. The lack of cable makes NVMe drives ideal for small form factor systems that have little room for cable routing. Most new desktop PC motherboards and the logic ports on some new laptops incorporate slots are much smaller. The world's largest capacity and fastest speed SSD is expected from Flexon company that data centers with their upcoming 64 TB PCIe NVMe with over 20 Gbps performance, and it have record breaking of 20 GB per s performance and optimized low power design. And lastly is energy efficiency. The power efficiency of an SSD is determined mostly by how well it can save power when ideal. We know that the M2 SSD can concentrate a lot of power in a very small space. Ideal power management for NVMe SSD is far more complicated than for SATA SSD. NVMe SSD can support several different ideal power state, and through the autonomous power state transition APST, further the operating system can set a drive's policy for when to drop down to a lower power state. NVMe allows the host to manage power statically to complement autonomous power management performance by the NVMe drives. That's all for me.
Okay, for recommendation, I would like to recommend NVMe memory over the SATA SSD. Even though traditional SATA SSD drive hold a large partition of the market, we can expect them to push aside by this NVMe SSD as the price of this NVMe SSD keep going down over this past year. NVMe also come out with a better performance in terms of speed, durability, capacity, as well as the energy efficiency. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.